I'd like to tell you about a story that I covered for CBS's Miracles and Other Wonders as both a writer and a producer some years ago. And I hadn't looked at this story until after 9/11. And when I reread my own coverage of it after 9/11, it really it gave me a chill. The following was originally published by Wesley Bradshaw in the National Review, and that's a magazine we know now as the Stars and Stripes, in 1880. And he talked about in 1859, on July 4th in Independence Square, he met an old soldier who was at the age of 99. He was very feeble, by the name of Anthony Sherman. And Anthony Sherman said to Wesley Bradshaw, "Come into Independence Hall because I'm going to tell you a story that no other living man alive knows, and one that you should remember the rest of your life." The old soldier went on to say that in the winter of 1777 at Valley Forge, Washington's men was very dispirited, and they had encamped back to Valley Forge. And I want to remind you that during the American Revolution, only 3% of Americans participated in the revolution. Some were afraid to commit, afraid they'd be tried for treason. Some openly aided the British, and others were too busy trying to scratch out a living to participate. So it was a very dispirited time at the time in Valley Forge, and Washington would often be seen going off into the thicket. And as I tell you this little story, I want to remind you that George Washington wasn't noted as being a particularly religious man. He had no religious clergy in attendance with him when he died, and he said no words of religious significance as he passed over. However, on this cold, cold day in 1777, he called one of his lieutenants, and this soldier who's telling the story, Anthony Sherman, was standing right there. And he said George Washington had a very strange look on his face and had spent the afternoon by himself in his tent meditating. And this is what Washington said. "One day, I remember well, the chilly winds whistled through the leafless trees, though the sky was cloudless. And I don't know whether it's owing to the anxiety of my mind or what, but this afternoon, as I was sitting at this table, prepared to create a dispatch, something seemed to disturb me. Looking up, I beheld standing opposite me a beautiful female. So astonished was I, for I had given strict orders not to be disturbed, that it was some moments before I found language enough to inquire the cause of her presence. A second, a third, and even a fourth time did I repeat my question, but received no answer from my mysterious visitor, except a slight raising of her eyes. Presently I heard a voice say, 'Son of the Republic, look and learn.' And at the same time my visitor extended her arm eastwardly. I now beheld a heavy white vapor at some distance rising, fold upon fold. It starts to sound a little bit like Edgar Allan Poe. This gradually dissipated, and I looked again upon a strange scene. Before me, spread out in one vast plain, all the countries of the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, America. I saw rolling and tossing between Europe and America, the billows of the Atlantic, and between Asia and America lay the Pacific. 'Son of the Republic,' said the mysterious voices before, 'look and learn.' At that moment I beheld a dark, shadowy being like an angel, standing or rather floating in the hollow air between Europe and America. Dipping water out of the ocean of each hand, he sprinkled some upon America with his right hand, while with his left hand he cast some upon Europe. Immediately a cloud raised up from these countries and joined in mid-ocean. For a while it remained stationary and then moved slowly westward until it enveloped America in its murky folds. Sharp flashes of lightning gleamed through at intervals, and I heard the smothered groans and cries of the American people. A second time the angel dipped water from the ocean and sprinkled it out as before. The dark cloud then spread across the ocean, and whose heaving billows that sank from view. A third time, I heard the mysterious voice say, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." I cast my eyes upon America and beheld villages and towns and cities rising up one after another until the whole land from the Atlantic to the Pacific was dotted with them. And again I heard the mysterious voice say, "Son of the Republic, the end of the century coming, look and learn." At this the shadowy angel turned his face southward, and from Africa I saw an ill-omened specter approach our land. It flitted, this specter, slowly over every town and city. The inhabitants presently set themselves in battle array against each other. As I continued looking, I saw a bright angel on whose brow rested a crown of light, on which was traced the word Union, bearing the American flag, which he placed between the divided nation and said, "Remember, ye are brethren." Instantly the inhabitants, casting from them their weapons, became friends once more and united around the national standard. And again I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." At this the dark, shadowy angel placed a trumpet to his mouth, blew 3 distinct blasts, and taking water from the ocean, he sprinkled it upon Europe, Asia, and Africa. Then my eyes beheld a fearful scene. From each of these countries arose thick, black clouds that were soon joined into one. And throughout this mass there gleamed a dark red light, by which I saw hordes of armed men, who, moving with the cloud, marched by land and sailed by sea to America, which country was enveloped in the volume of cloud. Sounds pretty ominous. And I dimly saw these vast armies devastate the whole country and burn the villages, towns, and cities that I had beheld springing up. As my ears listened to the thundering of the cannon, clashing of swords, and the shouts and cries of millions in mortal combat, I again heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." When the voice had ceased, the dark, shadowy angel placed his trumpet once more to his mouth and blew a long and fearful blast. Instantly, the light of 1,000 suns shone down from above me. And don't forget, this is 1777. And pierced and broke into fragments the dark cloud which enveloped America. At the same moment, the angel upon whose head still shone the word Union, and who bore our national flag in one hand and a sword in the other, descended from the heavens, attended by legions of white spirits. These immediately joined the inhabitants of America, who I perceived were well nigh overcome, but who immediately, taking courage again, closed up their ranks and renewed battle. Again, amid the fearful noise of the conflict, I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." As the voice ceased, the shadowy angel for the last time dipped water from the ocean and sprinkled it upon America. Instantly, the dark cloud rolled back, together with the armies it had brought, leaving the inhabitants of the land victorious. And once again I beheld the villages, towns, and cities springing up where I had seen them before, while the bright angel, planing the azure standard he had brought in the midst of them, cried with a loud voice, "While the stars remain and the heavens send out dew upon the earth, so long shall the Union last." And taking from his brow the crown on which was blazing the word Union, he placed it upon the standard, while the people kneeling down said Amen. The scene instantly began to fade and dissolve, and I at last saw nothing but the rising, curling vapor I had first beheld. This also disappearing, I found myself once more gazing upon the mysterious visitor, who in the same angelic voice I had heard before said, "Son of the Republic, what you have seen is thus interpreted. 3 great perils will come upon the Republic. The most fearful is the 3rd. And then the vision vanished, and I started from my seat and felt that I had seen a vision wherein had been the birth, progress, and destiny of the United States, and included the aged narrator. These were the words I heard from Washington's own lips, and you would do well to profit by